Hi, it's Will from sculpted.com, and this is a quick tutorial and a quick look at how I made this diorama. I don't know what to call it. It's a pretty simple diorama. There's some nice things about it. I wanted to get a shot of a diorama standing on a little hill. I wanted to get a shot of a tree standing on a little hill like this, because this is a scene. This is very similar to a scene from my upcoming novel, The Left-Handed Sword, and so I wanted to try to get one of those scenes. And although without the beehive. The thing about this diorama is I'm going to be using this on one of my websites, and it's going to be changing as the season changes. Right now here in New England where I live, it's winter and it's snow, so the tree and the whole little scene is currently covered in snow. As the year progresses, I'll be changing this diorama using the same tree and the same whole thing, but I'll remove the snow and I'll put grass, and the tree will bloom, and apples will grow from it, and then in autumn the tree will change. So it's an interesting a different look at a diorama, in that the diorama is actually going to go through a metamorphosis over the course of the year. But this tutorial, so I wanted to tell you a little bit about that, but I also wanted to show you, just a little bit of an interesting thing I've done with this diorama is, if you've already seen the picture, is that I've also put it, so I wanted the little island here to be floating kind of in space almost, because that's the scene in the novel, and with a little bit of smoke, and I wanted a starry background. So what I've done here is I've just built myself just sort of like a little studio with a box. I built a box, put a light inside it, and then I punched holes in this so the stars would shine through it, and that works really well. And I also, using some aluminum foil on a spotlight here, on a light here, because I don't have a spotlight, to try to get the lighting just right on the tree. Just kind of focus it on the tree. So it was an interesting experiment in lighting and photography for me. Came out pretty good. And I'll be modifying this diorama over the course of time now. I do have a whole bunch of pictures and stuff and a little bit of video on how I made this diorama, which you might be interested in, and I'll show you some of that. But if you're interested, this diorama is going on my namesake domain, willcaliff.com. Every year I use a different visual simile or metaphor for that domain, and this year this is it. To get the smoke effects, although it's not as good as I wanted it to be, I have this smoke generator here. It's just battery operated, and gives me some smoke, but not a whole lot. Okay, you start out with a bunch of lengths of wire, copper wire. Well, it doesn't have to be copper, but it has to be solid wire. And I have, in various sizes, I have 12 gauge, 14 gauge, and 22 gauge here. So, and more of each, as a tree is designed, the larger branches, the medium branches, and the smaller branches, of course. So next, wrap up that trunk with some tape. Or you could even bend it with, twist it with pliers, but it can be difficult if you have a lot of them. And then start forming the tree shape, the different branches. Remember, your main stem always goes up. And one important thing to do is to pair together 2s or 3s of wires in different sizes, like this right here, see? So it's thicker here, and then it branches out. Still a main branch, but then some smaller branches. So I did a lot of pairing of wires. Okay, now let's start filling out the size of this tree with clay, and I'm using Da Vinci clay. It's a type of sculppolina, and you apply it in pieces, so it gives you that nice rough tree-shaped look. Unless you're doing a specific kind of tree that has very smooth and straight bark, then you should, then you can apply it differently. But I like to apply it in pieces like this. It gives you a really good tree contour kind of shape. Of course, the little bit of the root system maybe coming out. So continue to do that on major parts. Don't go all the way out on all the branches.